Good morning, everyone. Well, very warm this afternoon, but this evening a cold front arrives and things are going to start to get stormy. Let's start with the quietest weather we're going to see today, and that's early this morning. Though I do have to mention the chance for isolated showers from the Quad Cities on up to Waterloo, Mason City, but if you do see rain, this is going to be a light rain and not the kind of stuff that's going to slow you down. So just a heads up, you might have to use the windshield wipers, but you'll still be able to make it to work or school on time. Now, this area of rain is going to be pushing to the north and east. This is actually associated with a warm front that's finishing up working across the state and is going to lead to very warm temperatures this afternoon. I think a lot of us are going to see highs in the mid to upper 80s. We might even see some low 90s in the western part of the state. And low 90s is record territory. So we could be talking about tying some record highs, particularly in the western part of the state. Most are probably going to say just shy of records, but these temperatures well above normal for this time of year. Also got to talk about the wind, which is part of the story as well. Now, in the far eastern part of the state, we're just going to call it a windy day, guess 30, 35 miles per hour. But for the central and western part of the state, very windy. Talking about those wind gusts 40, 45 miles per hour, along with these very warm temperatures. All ahead of the cold front, which looks like it's going to start to push in 8, 9 o'clock this evening. That's when we're going to start to see storms fire up. And the problem is, notice that we're not talking about widespread activity, but the storms that do pop up are looking like they have potential to be supercell storms, the strongest storms possible, the kind of storms that absolutely can produce hail and damage you in, and yes, the possibility of tornadoes. So there we are at 9 o'clock now. As far as a peak in the activity, right now that's looking like around midnight, particularly in the northwestern part of the state. And one of the places I'm most concerned about for this evening is the Mason City area. It looks like that's where we have the greatest potential of seeing these supercell storms, because notice how there's still these kind of individual dots indicating the potential for supercells. Now, eventually, they're all going to merge together into a line, but it's like what the latest models, because again, the activity kind of getting started rather late, we're going to see our temperatures cool. And so once we do get a line of storms to form and push to the east, it may very well be weakening. So we'll keep a chance for severe storms for the Waterloo area. But if it doesn't arrive until about 3 a.m. this line, then the chance could end up being pretty small. This is the latest high-resolution model we have, so we're going with this for now. I always want to go with the latest models that we're getting, the latest information. And then the best chance of rain for the Quad Cities may not be until about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And at that point, the atmosphere is so stable that it's mostly going to be showers, maybe a weak storm. But I will mention a chance for rain for the morning commute for the Quad Cities and lingering on up into the Waterloo and Mason City area, but absolutely the severe threat over with. So, as far as a chance of severe storms, notice it is most of the state, but I do want to stress, if you're in that shade of green, like the Quad Cities, it is a very small chance, especially based on the latest models that are coming in, which really aren't bringing that line of activity in until very early tomorrow morning. Then it's mostly going to be showers. So if somehow that line overachieves, we'll keep the chance in for the couple models that still keep it together, but most of the models are making it fall apart. We really want to hone in on these shades of yellow and brown. That's where the threat is greatest. And again, there are going to be gaps in the activity. That's what's kind of confusing about this severe threat. But where the storms do fire up, again, we're talking about supercell storms. And those supercell storms can produce golf ball size hail, wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, and yes, they can produce tornadoes as well. So again, not everybody's going to see rain tonight, but some are going to see some strong storms. And so that's why we have this level 3 threat for places like Mason City, Waterloo. And again, notice that Mason City is kind of in the heart of this level 3 threat, so that's where I'm most concerned about severe weather. But got to mention for Sioux City and places like Des Moines as well. And we can't stop there because the front doesn't completely clear us. Again, the storms actually move away from the front tonight, and then they're going to fire back up during the morning hours tomorrow. So the cold front's probably going to be somewhere between Waterloo and Iowa City, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So the chance of rain there for the morning commute for the eastern part of the state. And then there's an outside chance the storms may re-intensify at noon. Still some uncertainty in the models. This particular model keeping it kind of weak, but some models say that we get some strong storms that still fire up. And again, most likely around lunchtime for places like the Quad Cities. But then the front is going to clear the state. And it looks like about 4 o'clock we all dry out. And look how everyone is cooler tomorrow. Not seeing mid to upper 80s, not at all. Probably the warmest temperatures we're going to see are low 70s. And many are going to only see highs in the upper 60s. And tomorrow, not as windy as today, but we got to call it a breezy day. Guess 20, 25 miles per hour. Also, want to mention Friday evening plans still looking like all the activities going to be over in Illinois, and it'll be a cool evening out there. So the severe threat for tomorrow is very small, and only for the far eastern part of the state. Notice Cedar Rapids, Ottumwa, Quad Cities, Muscatine. Again, there's probably even going to be gaps in the activity. We're talking about scattered showers and storms. And so if you see a storm, it's most likely just going to be heavy rain and lightning, but there's an outside chance that we could see some wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour and possibly some quarter-size hail. Still time for this to change, so look for an update tomorrow morning.